Welcome back, YouTube. My name is Diana and you are watching A Seasoned Mom and an Empty Nest. And looking pretty rough today. It's pretty early in the morning and I am experimenting with dehydrated mushrooms. Quiche happens to be one of my favorite breakfast meals and I really enjoy the bacon Swiss and mushroom quiche. However, when I make it, it tends to be a tad bit runny and I don't like that. So I thought that if I used dehydrated mushrooms and let them reconstitute inside the quiche while it's cooking, then it probably wouldn't be so runny because it dehydrated all the water out of it, therefore it won't be releasing water into the quiche, causing it to be runny. And I've fixed that before by cooking it extra longer to, you know, try to cook the water out of it, but then the outside edges get too done and I don't like that. So let's get started. The recipe actually calls for 3 eggs, but I'm using one of these deep dish pie pans, and when I use 3 eggs, then it's really shallow in there and I think that it needs more filling for this pan. So instead of 3, I'm going to use 4. It calls for 1.5 cups of half and half, but I'm going to use 2 cups of half and half. It also calls for 1 cup of Swiss cheese, and I'm going to use 2 cups of Swiss cheese because I like cheese in my quiche. I could probably do 5 eggs, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do the 4 this time around. So I took the liberty to go ahead and cook my bacon. Okay, so for me, quiche is probably one of the easier breakfast meals to make, and I'm going to show you how I put mine together. First, this time around, I just used a pre-made pie crust. I went to Sam's right before Thanksgiving and I bought one of those giant boxes of pre-rolled pie crust, and we used them through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and we're down to our very last one. So I thought I might as well make a quiche out of it. So what I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and tilt the camera down so you can see what I'm doing here. So what I like to do is I like to put the bacon all on the bottom first. And then I add chopped green onions. Super good. The recipe calls for 4. I only used 3 because that's all I had left in the refrigerator. And then after that, I'll let you guys go ahead and take a look in here. And then I add the dried mushrooms. Okay, so I have my eggs in the bowl, and I'm going to add to this 2 cups of half and half. Now the recipe, like I said, called for 1.5 cups, but I'm adding 2 because I have a deep dish pan. It calls for about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I just open my salt right over it. So there's a little more than 1/2 teaspoon in there because we have an extra egg, an extra half and half, and then cayenne pepper. Calls for a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to use a heaping 1/4 teaspoon. And then just mix this up real quick. In the pie pan, I just add the cheese. The recipe called for 1 cup. I grated 2 cups because we like our Swiss cheese in our quiche. To me, Swiss and mushroom is just amazing together. And bacon never hurts anything. And after I add the cheese, I go ahead and I take my liquid mixture of eggs, half and half, and my spices, and I just pour it. I just pour it right over the top. So I actually think that you could even do more eggs in this. You could add probably 2 or 3 more eggs if you'd like. If you have a lot of chickens and you need to get rid of your eggs, I highly suggest you put them in your quiche. It won't hurt anything. So I'm going to go ahead and bake this now. And I have absolutely no idea what temperature to bake it on. I haven't even preheated the oven. All right, you guys, well, I forgot to preheat the oven. So you're supposed to preheat the oven to 400 degrees and bake it at 350. Bake it for 35 to 40 minutes, or until the center is set and the outside should be like a golden brown. I'll be right back when the oven is done preheating and I get the quiche out, and we'll see what those mushrooms look like. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And it looks pretty set up too. So the true test will be when I cut into it. Usually when I take my quiche out after I put mushrooms in, it's pretty runny in the center. It's not runny at all. So I can't wait to try it. We'll let it set for just a minute and cool down, then we're going to cut into it and serve it up. Okay, so it looks like pretty much the quiche set up pretty good. Now then, let me grab a mushroom here. I'm going to taste it. I want to make sure I have a mushroom in it so I know that they're done. Okay. They're done. So that worked. Adding dehydrated mushrooms to your quiche will keep your quiche from being runny, watery. So yeah, now I know what to do. Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.